Welcome to Getting Aligned, a human design podcast where we dive into the endless journey of self-discovery using human design. This podcast is created for individuals who want to know how human design can assist them on the road towards self-awareness, healing, and personal growth by uncovering the unique blueprint that shapes each of us. From practical insights to profound revelations, Getting Aligned will be your companion on this transformative journey as we collectively step into our purpose. Whether you're new to human design or a seasoned explorer, there's something here for everyone. So, grab your favorite beverage, settle into something comfortable, and let's embark on this adventurous journey of self-discovery together. It's time that we all rediscover who we were born to be. What's up, soul peeps? This is your host, James, coming back with another episode. And for today's episode, I'm actually going to be diving into profiles in human design. I'm excited to talk about this. I'm excited to talk about the costumes of our purpose. So in human design, we really talk about the type that you are, right? Projector, manifestor, reflector. We're really talking about how your aura works, how your aura exchanges energy, how it takes in energy, how it uses energy, right? But your profile is actually your costume, how you're actually here to live out your unique purpose. And so for today's episode, you're going to want to pull up your chart, obviously, or if you already know, that's great. But I like to go to mybodygraph.com, again, plug in all of that correct information. And then we're going to be taking a little bit of a look-see at, first off, how your profile is created or where it comes from, and then talk a little bit about the six profile lines. So this might be new information for you. This might be repeated information. Totally fine. But we're going to be diving into the six archetypes, if you will. So when you plug in your birth information and you pull up your chart, your body graph, you're going to see on the right side are all of, the personality aspects of who you are. These are the conscious parts of yourself that you are very familiar with. And on the left side, you're going to see what's in red. It's the design side. These are all the unconscious gifts and aspects of who you are that you may not automatically resonate with. When you look at the personality side, you're going to see the planetary symbols. Those may look familiar if you are into astrology. You're going to notice the sun, the earth, right? Which is not typically in the astrological world. In astrology, don't really talk about the earth as a planet, but in human design, we do. So that's what's specifically different. One of the other things that's specifically different, you're going to see the moon, the north node, the south node, right? All of those planetary symbols. The numbers that are right next to it, those represent the gates. And so again, the black gates are all of your conscious gifts and conscious traits. On the right side are all of the unconscious gifts, the unconscious traits that you have within your unique blueprint. There are a total of 60 gates in total that any one of us can have any combination of them. But when you actually take a look at the Sun and Earth gate, for example, you might have a personality Sun gate of 46.1. You might have a Earth gate of 25.1. That 0.1 is actually the number that we're using when in terms of making up your first profile. So that is the personality profile. That is the part of you that you may definitely resonate with. For me, at least, I definitely resonated with being a two line. On the design side, your sun might be, in gate 15, it might say 15.3, and then your earth might be in 10.3. That 0.3 represents your design profile, the unconscious profile that you may resonate with. I am a 2-4, so I have a line 2 and a line 4. I did not really resonate with my unconscious 4 line, but I actually have a best friend. He is a 2-4 projector, and he resonated with both. So it can go in either way. Historically, most people would say, yeah, you resonate with your personality side, and you may not resonate with your unconscious. or your design profile. I don't think that's necessarily 100% true. It depends really on the person. But when we look back again, taking a step back, there are six total profiles. There are six total profile lines, rather, but they can be categorized and configured into actually a total of 12. So you might have a 1-3, a 2-4, a 5-1, a 6-2, right? A 3-6, a 6-3. There are going to be a total of six. Sorry, there is going to be a total of 12. So you can be, this is what I love about human design in the sense that we can literally have two splenic manifestors or two emotional manifestors or two emotional projectors or two emotional generators. Like we can literally have two of the exact same type, but you might have in the same centers might be defined. You might have some gates that are the same throughout that body graph. But when your profile is a 1-3 compared to a 2-4, it is going to be so vastly different in the way that things work for you. So what I really love about this is as I was having a session yesterday with a client, we were talking about how even in the astrology community, there will be like, you're a Virgo, all Virgos are the same, and or all Libras are the same. And she's like, that is why I love that you have brought human design into my life, is because it is so like, this is why, even if you are projectors and all of these different things, like why there's such a difference and such a nuance in how things work. And I was like, I could not agree more. So there are a total of 64 hexagrams or 64 gates. Each hexagram or each gate is divided into 6 lines. Each gate has a lower set of lower trigram and upper trigram. The lower trigram consists of the profile lines 1, 2, and 3, and the upper trigram consists of lines 4, 5, and 6. All of the individuals who have lines 1, 2, or 3 in their chart, this is a personal process that you're going through in this lifetime. You are not necessarily here to externalize information with others as much as you are internalizing information and sort of working within yourself. And anyone that has the upper, lines in the upper trigrams, the fours, the fives, the six, you're really externalizing a lot of this. This is really interpersonally focused. This is an outer directed process. So again, if you have a 1, 2, or 3, there's much more of an internal process going on within you. And if you're a 4, 5, or 6, there's a sort of a transpersonal, outer relational experience going on with you. So the 6 lines are as follows. Someone who has a line 1 is known as the investigator. Line 2 is known as the hermit. Line 3 is known as the martyr. Line 4 is known as the opportunist. Line 5 is known as the heretic, and line 6 is known as the role model. So the way it would work is if you are 2-4, you're someone who would be described as the hermit opportunist, right? If you are 1 and 3, you are someone who would be known as the investigative martyr, right? Again, this is really how your personality may be a hermit or your personality may be the investigator, but your design profile, you're an opportunist or you're a martyr. And we're going to dive a little bit more into that. So sometimes you can feel, again, truly resonate with one and truly not resonate with the other. But let's dive into all of the 6 lines. For the individual who has a 1 in their profile, you are someone, again, as human design will call you the investigator. I like to say you're a researcher. You love, 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 absolutely love to dive in and gather information and gather how you can find out more and more and more and get so caught up and so deeply fascinated with research. And you generally are doing this because you are looking to build a really, really strong foundation, a foundation that you can say, I know this thing that I'm really passionate about, that I'm really interested in, and I have a really good, solid foundation on the things that I know. And this is actually to help you feel really, really, really comfortable. But line ones can really struggle with feeling inferior, really having to look into everything or feeling like what they know is just not enough and that they want to keep diving in and keep diving in. And this can really cause you to feel really anxious. Those of us who are like me, who have a two in their profile, you are someone that is known as a hermit. I love the title hermit. So, someone that is aligned to, you really love solitude. You love being able to keep up with yourself, right? Where unlike line twos, unlike the line ones, line twos can and are very capable of keeping themselves entertained. Line twos have a natural way about them of just knowing things. They are naturally talented and often struggle with and get stuck in trying to make sense of why they know what they know, or trying to, like someone will ask them, hey, why do you know what you know? And they're spending all their time and energy trying to explain it. That is actually really detrimental. So you're individuals who just sometimes know what you know and you know what you know. And that's fine. That is so, so important. That is something, a big point of conditioning for me was also trying to understand, why do I know the things that I know? And it was like, well, let me get a degree. Let me get a degree to be able to explain why I know what I know. But I naturally knew what I knew about people really early on. And so that is really consistent for those of us who are line twos. But one of the biggest downfalls of a line two is isolation to the point of your own detriment. Like, I can isolate, and not, I don't even like to sometimes call it isolation. I just like to say I like to engage in self care with myself, by myself. Like, I don't need other people to be near me or around me. Like, I love my solitude, but to the point where you're no longer connecting with people, that can be very hurtful for you, especially depending on what your other profile, what other profile line you have as well, right? So moving on, line threes are described as the martyr. There's a lot of people that don't like this. I'm like, it's a word. It doesn't. I don't have any. It's not that big of a deal for me. But this is up. It's always up to you in your own experiment, your own journey, what you like to call this. But line three is known as the martyr. I think of them as an experimenter. You are someone who is here to learn through a series of trials and errors. Three lines really work to find out what doesn't fit. If something is broken, they're looking for the flaw in these things. Line threes are here to shake things up. They are here to create and to change systems. They see this struggle within themselves and they're like, oh, like, why am I always failing? But I like to always again say our souls chose our profile, our lines, our energetic gates, our gifts. They came in knowing, they had a meeting with the soul tribe community and they're like, listen, this is what you're going to be. And you're like, hell yeah, I'm here for it. And we knew what we were signing up for. This was what we came in. And so I try to help individuals with three lines reframe by saying, like, you would get really bored if things worked out right away. You want to have these bumps and bruises in this lifetime because it gives you more things in your arsenal to be able to say, this thing doesn't work and I've experimented with it and here's why. So you're literally experimenting with human design, but you're also an experimenter in your own right. You are here to basically save other people issues, right? Hey, this is the type of person that, based on my experience, I've dated this person, and this person, and this is the type of person that has these are the red flags you need to look out for, right? Like, you've gone through bumps and bruises to be able to say, let me help you save time. This doesn't work, or let me help you save time, go this route. And so the more you can learn to lean into that beauty of, I'm here to experiment, I'm also here to have fun. I'm gonna get bored if I get it right on the first go. Like, you're gonna just continue to uncover new things, and you're gonna get really, really specific on what works for you, and it's gonna be beautiful. If you have a four line in your profile, you again, human design would call you the opportunist. Basically, you are an extroverted person, but you're not just an extroverted person, you are an intimate, you love to create intimate connections with people. I am a four line. I did not immediately resonate with my four line because I'm like, no, I don't like being near people. I like my solitude. But then I realized the reason I like my solitude is because I don't like fake connections. I don't like inauthentic connections. And having surface level conversations is so uncomfortable. I'm like, let me just stay by myself. Like, there's no point. Right? But what's beautiful about the four is that you have a natural way of networking and building community. And it's absolutely everything, especially if you are, like me, a business owner. Your success is really tied to, and I don't mean just a projector success. I mean your success is really tied to the connections that you create, because four lines are deeply charismatic and they're deeply influential. You just have to wait for the right opportunities to connect with the right people, and you're going to see an abundance of things working out for you. I'm honestly a testament to that, as well as my mentors, and just absolutely game changing when you really recognize that you're here to form really genuine, authentic connections and community. I don't want to form surface relationships with people. And like, if you're watching this podcast, you're my people. Like, you're my person, because I absolutely love connecting with people and I'm pouring all of myself into this. Fours can struggle if you are in the wrong community. I spent a long time around people that just were not energetically correct for me, and I could not figure out why I was experiencing so much resistance in life, right? You are a social battery. People want to know why you have so many close connections with different people. Like, you might not have a like a group of 5 or 6 people that are your friends. You might have literally an individual person that you're friends with in multiple different spaces, because you just love connecting with people at an individual soul level. But be mindful again of trying to compare what your connections and what your community looks like compared to what others may look like. Fours do need to recharge their social batteries. So I love that I also a hermit, because I'm like, I've been around people too much, going to do my little hermit thing. And I love my time. I love traveling by myself. I've gone to Pittsburgh and Portugal and Dallas by myself over the last 4 years. And I also went to Florida by myself. Like, I actually loved embracing travel by myself because I don't have to be on anyone else's clock. I get to just wander around. And I've actually made some amazing connections. Shout out to you. You know who you are. I made some amazing friendships and connections with people that I met literally across the pond, like across the world, across the globe, across the country. So, yes, that's line four. So, line fives, you're known as what human design calls as the heritage. You are basically someone who, you are here to create social change. You are like a social justice warrior. Five lines may often, unfortunately and fortunately, I don't think there's a mistake. You might find yourself around people who are in some type of need of help. You might find yourself around people who just happen to say, who have this like complex of, I need you to save me, because what they're actually doing is they're projecting onto you that you are their rescuer. You are the person that's going to be able to save them and rescue them and help them. Believe it or not, you're here to help people, but you're also here to help people if you follow your strategy and your authority and you do it in a way that is aligned for you. You're going to be able to help the right people and find that sense of fulfillment. But the biggest struggle is also learning which situations that you get involved in are actually correct for you. Because if people are projecting onto you that you need help and you don't support them the way that they think you should support them, it's going to lead to that resistance. It's going to lead to that not self, and it could fracture that relationship. And so it's super important for you to get involved in the right relationships or the right situations where you find yourself really passionate about whatever it is that you want to do. Those are all going to continue to lead you towards where you need to be. The last line is the sixth line. Human design describes the 6 lines as the role model. These are individuals who are really, I actually go back a little bit, but you are so completely different than all the other design types. Human design uses this house analogy or house metaphor to really describe where each of the lines are in relation to the house. So if you think about a house, one lines are on the ground floor, creating all of the foundations. These are the investigators. They're introspective. They have chameleon ability. They have a level of empathy to them. The 2 lines are on the first floor of the house with the windows open. They're keeping to themselves. They're the naturals. They're projections. They're the Democrats. They're minding their own business, keeping to themselves, while people are actually looking into the house and seeing what it is that they're doing. So twos, again, they don't necessarily see their natural gifts. Other people see it for them. That's a little bit why the analogy is you're on the first floor, but the window's open. The three lines, they're in between the first and the second house. They're going through this transition experience between the karmas of the first line, the lower trigrams, and the upper trigrams. So they're a little bit in between helping themselves and helping others. Four lines are the foundations of the second floor. So very similar to the ones, they are creating the foundation, but on the second. Five lines carry the most karma of anyone. They are looking outside of the window, very much from the second floor, but they're also hiding a little bit simultaneously, hoping people don't project onto them that they're their savior person, because they don't want to be in some ways, but they also want to be. And this goes back to the six lines who are on the roof of the house. So six lines have a unique journey in human design. So for the first 30 years of their life, they're actually operating as a three, right? So they're actually going through the same journey that the three lines are going through: experimentation, trial and error, change, mutation, adaptation. And then after they hit their Saturn return, they go and they retreat from that trial and error phase from their 50s, from their 30s to their 50s. And during this period of time, they're healing and they're recovering and they're doing some reflection. They're on the top of the roof. And then in the third stage, after their 50s, they jump off the roof and they start interacting with other houses, other people, offering their wisdom, their guidance with the world. They are again role models. They are again optimistic. They are the peacemakers that we so desperately need, right? Where the ones are the introspective chameleons, the twos are the naturals, the projectors, the Democrats, the threes are all about trial and error and mutation and change. The four is all about externalizing and friendliness and connections. The five is all about the systems and the generals and the changes. Fives are the wisdom, right? So no matter what you have, whether it's a one, a three, a two, a four, a five, a six, you have a specific subset of gifts, right? That you have that you're able to also use in relation to your highest good, but also the relation to the highest good, depending on if you have a cluster of from the one lower trigrams or the upper trigrams. So I really hope that this episode was reaffirming if you are familiar with human design. If you're new to human design, I hope this episode was helpful. As always, you know the drill. You know the jazz. Like, rate, subscribe, review, help a friend, help a friend, help a friend, share a friend, share to a friend, share to a friend. Catch me on all the socials, Aligned HD, and I will catch you for the next episode of Getting Aligned, Human Design Podcast with your host, James Williams. Peace.